Hey friend, it's Jen, and I'm so excited to spend these next few minutes together with you as we explore uncommon conversations that we can have with God in everyday moments. And I want to start with a question for you. Have you ever thought about the reality that music moves us so much because God created us to have a response to it? Think about it. With so many different genres of music, there are songs, there are notes and cadences and tones and rhythms that move us emotionally, that move us to move our bodies. Lyrics that are put to music that we remember our whole lives long because the way the song is built together connects with us and ties to memories and experiences and significant moments. That all happens because God created us to have a response and a connection to music. And today we have the opportunity to enjoy music together with God, just for the fun of it. I have found that sometimes we will have certain types of activities that we put into the faith box. Reading my Bible, participating in church, those go in the faith box. But other activities go in the secular box. Work, other relationships, hobbies, sports we enjoy, foods that we like to eat, sometimes even the type of music that we listen to. Unless it is clearly in the faith box, a lot of the other things in life tend to end up in the secular box, separate from my faith activities. But the reality is, as a Christian, every aspect of our lives is an expression of our faith. Here's another type of box that we can create. Something we do for God versus something we do with God. Music is something that we can sometimes put into boxes like this. I will listen to music about God, or I will sing or play music to God. But those are basically the only two categories. It's either me toward God or me listening about God. But what if by categorizing these things, we're missing opportunities for them to overlap? What if music, for example, isn't just something I can do for God or listen to about God, but actually something that I can enjoy with God? When we read the Psalms in English, sometimes we overlook the reality that many of those Psalms were actually songs that were written to be sung, some of which were even written and put to music. An example of this is in Psalm 76. And the heading says that the psalm is titled, "Who Can Stand Before You?" And it says, "To the choir master with stringed instruments, a psalm of Asaph, a song." Now, I don't know a lot about the historical context of the choir or how it was sang, but it says with stringed instruments, for the choir master, a song. Verbal singing was part of the worship to God. And we can read them out loud, or we can just read them internally. And in what we're doing right now is we're engaging in music that was offered to God in worship. There's a passage in Zephaniah that I've referenced before from Zephaniah 3:17. And it says, "The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exult over you with loud singing." So God also sings over us. Now, I don't know what song he sings. Maybe he sings similar songs over all of his people, or maybe he sings unique songs over each one of us. What I do know is that songs move us, and songs connect with us, and we connect with songs. Also, songs can connect to memories that we have. There's a book called Worship as Theology, and the author is referencing this point, D.E. Sailors. And he says, the remembrance of words is carried and prompted by the melody. Sometimes we can remember the history of what God has done by the words and the melody together. And sometimes our memories of different seasons are also tied to and commemorated with different songs. I can also think back to seasons where Jared and I went through delayed fertility. We had fertility struggles. And there were 2 babies that we miscarried. And so we have 2 boys that we're raising on earth, and we have 2 babies in heaven. And it was in one of these times of delayed fertility and wanting a child and asking God for a child that the song Oceans Where Feet May Fail from Hillsong United was really popular. And I remember being in a time of worship at church, and our worship team was leading us in that song. I remember connecting with those lyrics and talking with God about how I was choosing to trust Him as He led us into these unknown places, as I was relying on promises that He'd given me for a child that I didn't have. And I also have a memory of being pregnant, full belly, and feeling my son, I don't remember which kid it was, but with one of my boys kicking inside my belly as, again, I was in a time of corporate worship and this song was playing. And so this song has become a remembrance for me. It's become somewhat of an anthem of remembering God's faithfulness in that season of life. It's a song that God and I share. And there are lots of songs that God and I share. And so even in times when it'll pop up on my playlist or I'll hear it again in a time of worship, that's music that I engage with together with God. I'm sure you have some experiences like that. I also have fun experiences with the Lord of just a lyric that makes me laugh, or something poignant in a song that reminds me of Him, or a melody that captures my attention in its beauty or its intricacy or even its simplicity. And so today, just for the fun of it, we're going to talk with God about music that we can share with Him and see what that shared experience might be like, unique for just the two of you. And here's our question. God, what's a song you and I can share? Maybe He'll bring to mind a song and a memory that you've already shared in the past, or one of your favorite worship songs, or maybe He'll invite you to experience and enjoy a new song with Him today. Have a good talk.